what does the president plan on doing as far as policy goes? We're told he's not going to waste any time on signing some executive orders. So let's go live to Joe St. George in Washington, D.C. And Joe, here in Colorado, we are closely watching orders on immigration and possibly even Space Command moving. What else can we expect?
Right. We could get a national emergency declared today related to immigration and the border. The Wall Street Journal reported last week that raids of some areas of the country could also be possible on day one, although Trump's incoming border czar, Thomas Homan, has seemed to walk back that in recent days. You know, there's a lot of pomp and circumstance. You'll hear that word a lot on this inauguration day with the swearing-in ceremonies. You'll have the inaugural balls tonight. But there's a lot of news that's going to be made with these actions taken by President-elect, soon-to-be President again, Trump. He said in a speech last night here in Washington that some people were advising him to spread it out, do some executive orders today, some tomorrow, some Thursday. He's elected to do a shock and awe, really, of executive orders, running the gambit from energy executive orders related to some electric transition orders that President Biden put in place to, yes, immigration and the southern border. One important piece of context is noteworthy with any of these executive orders being taken by President-elect Trump today is that the border is actually down compared to where we were, let's say, a year ago. Depending on what metric you're looking at, numbers are maybe 70% lower than what we saw at the border during those record-breaking periods with so many migrants that were really inundating Border Patrol. Not necessarily the current climate in the southern border of the United States. But that being said, Republicans, President-elect Trump, believe they were elected in many ways part because of the southern border, because of a desire for the largest deportation task force in American history. And one last thing, we could get pardons. January 6th rioters could get some pardons today, which could impact some families in southern Colorado.
Yeah, and talking about that, Joe, new this morning, this is breaking. President Joe Biden has given some presumptive pardons for Dr. Anthony Fauci and members of the House committee that investigated the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Walk us through what this means.
Well, I mentioned how we could get pardons from the incoming president, President-elect Trump today. We definitely got pardons from the outgoing president, President Biden, today. A remarkable action, use of a presidential authority in the final hours of the Biden administration, preemptively pardoning Liz Cheney, the former Republican congresswoman from Wyoming who led the charge with the January 6th Select Committee that investigated President-elect Trump and his staffers for the events of January 6th, 2021. Anthony Fauci, COVID, getting a preemptive pardon as well. All of these actions taken, again, before these individuals were ever accused of any wrongdoing by the Justice Department. There was a concern, though, in Washington for a while that an incoming Trump-appointed attorney general could investigate those individuals. President Biden taking that off the table with these landmark pardons in the final hours of his presidency.
Joe.